Title: The Silent Struggle, Why Sexual Compatibility Matters in Marriage. Introduction: Why do people shy away from discussing sex before and during marriage? The consequences of avoiding this conversation. The goal of this book: helping couples build a fulfilling, intimate relationship. Chapter 1: Understanding Sexual Compatibility. What is sexual compatibility? Why is it crucial for a healthy marriage? The misconception that love alone is enough. Chapter 2: The unspoken struggles in marriage. How lack of communication about sex leads to dissatisfaction. Common issues couples face but never talk about. The link between sexual dissatisfaction and infidelity. Chapter 3: Why people avoid talking about sex. Cultural and religious influences. Fear of judgment or rejection. Lack of sexual education and awareness. Chapter 4: The importance of open communication. How to start the conversation before marriage. Key questions to ask your partner. Creating a safe space for discussing desires and boundaries. Chapter 5: Learning each other's sexual language. Understanding different sexual needs and preferences. How men and women view intimacy differently. Ways to discover and express your desires together. Chapter 6: Reigniting passion in marriage. Practical steps to improve intimacy. How to overcome past sexual trauma or insecurity. The role of emotional connection in great sex. Chapter 7: Finding a balance between expectations and reality. Managing differences in libido. Compromise versus sacrifice, finding a middle ground. When to seek professional help. Chapter 8: Faith, Values, and Intimacy. How religious and moral beliefs impact sexual compatibility. Navigating faith-based limitations while maintaining intimacy. Healthy perspectives on sex in marriage. Chapter 9: Overcoming challenges and rekindling the flame. How to address long-term dissatisfaction. The role of therapy, books, and workshops. Making intimacy a priority despite busy schedules. Chapter 10: Practical solutions and takeaways. Exercises and activities to strengthen sexual intimacy. Tips for newlyweds and long-term couples. Final words of encouragement. Introduction. Sex is one of the most essential yet often ignored aspects of a healthy marriage. While love, companionship, and shared values are crucial, sexual compatibility plays a fundamental role in sustaining a fulfilling relationship. However, many individuals shy away from discussing sex before and even during marriage, either due to cultural conditioning, personal insecurities, or fear of being judged. This reluctance to address sexual needs and expectations can lead to dissatisfaction, emotional distance, and even the breakdown of marriages. Why do people shy away from discussing sex before and during marriage? Sex remains a taboo topic in many cultures, families, and even religious settings. Many people grow up without open discussions about intimacy, leading to discomfort and uncertainty when the time comes to address it in relationships. Some believe that love alone will naturally lead to sexual compatibility, while others fear that discussing preferences might make them appear inappropriate or overly focused on physical desires. Additionally, societal expectations often place a heavier burden on women to remain reserved about their sexual needs, further deepening the communication gap between partners. In marriage, the avoidance continues for various reasons: fear of hurting a partner's feelings, embarrassment, or the assumption that things will work themselves out over time. Unfortunately, silence can breed resentment, frustration, and, in some cases, infidelity. When one or both partners feel unfulfilled, they may seek satisfaction elsewhere or resign themselves to an unhappy, disconnected marriage. The consequences of avoiding this conversation. Failing to discuss sexual compatibility can have significant emotional and psychological consequences. Unmet needs can lead to frustration, making couples feel misunderstood and disconnected. Over time, this emotional gap can grow, affecting not just intimacy but also overall relationship satisfaction. Some of the key consequences of avoiding sexual discussions include dissatisfaction and frustration. When one or both partners feel unfulfilled, resentment can build up. Infidelity and seeking fulfillment elsewhere. When communication is lacking, some individuals may seek external validation or pleasure. Emotional distance. Lack of intimacy can weaken the bond between partners, making them feel more like roommates than lovers. Divorce or separation. Many marriages end because couples never learn to address and fulfill each other's sexual needs. The goal of this book. This book aims to break the silence surrounding sexual compatibility in relationships and marriage. By providing insight into why sex is crucial, how to communicate openly about it, and how to create a satisfying intimate life with your partner. We hope to empower couples to embrace honest conversations and build stronger, healthier marriages. Rather than shying away from the topic, couples should see sexual compatibility as an integral part of their long-term happiness. This book will offer guidance on discussing desires, overcoming insecurities, and rekindling passion, ensuring that intimacy is not just an afterthought but a deeply fulfilling aspect of marriage. Sex should never be a source of shame or discomfort in a committed relationship. With open communication, understanding, and effort, couples can build a marriage where both emotional and physical needs are met. Let's dive into this often overlooked topic and start fostering stronger, happier relationships. Chapter 1: Understanding Sexual Compatibility. What is sexual compatibility? Sexual compatibility refers to the ability of two partners to meet each other's intimate needs in a way that is fulfilling, satisfying, and sustainable. It is not just about physical attraction or chemistry, it encompasses communication, emotional connection, personal preferences, and the willingness to understand and accommodate each other's desires. True sexual compatibility is about more than just physical intimacy, it involves mutual respect, trust, and an ongoing commitment to understanding what makes each partner feel desired and fulfilled. Sexual compatibility is not something that happens automatically. It requires effort, exploration, and most importantly, open dialogue. Many couples assume that being in love means they will naturally be compatible in the bedroom, but this is not always the case. Each person has their own unique needs, desires, and boundaries, and unless these are openly discussed, misunderstandings and dissatisfaction can arise. Why is it crucial for a healthy marriage? Sex is a powerful bonding tool in marriage. When two people are sexually compatible, they experience deeper emotional connection, higher levels of trust, and a greater sense of intimacy. It strengthens the marital bond and contributes to overall relationship satisfaction. Conversely, when sexual needs are neglected or ignored, it can lead to frustration, resentment, and distance between partners. Here are some reasons why sexual compatibility is vital for a healthy marriage. Enhances emotional connection. A fulfilling sex life creates deeper emotional intimacy between partners. Prevents resentment and frustration. When both partners' needs are met, there is less room for bitterness or dissatisfaction. Strengthens commitment. Couples who share a healthy sex life are often more committed and invested in their relationship. Boosts relationship happiness. A strong intimate connection contributes to overall marital happiness and fulfillment. The misconception that love alone is enough. Many couples enter marriage believing that love alone will ensure a fulfilling sex life. While love is a crucial foundation, it does not automatically translate into sexual compatibility. Love without open discussion and effort in the area of intimacy can still lead to frustration. Some of the most common misconceptions include: if we love each other, sex will always be great. In reality, great sex requires communication, experimentation, and an understanding of each other's needs. Talking about sex ruins the romance. Open discussions about intimacy actually enhance romance by ensuring that both partners feel satisfied and understood. If we're not sexually compatible now, we never will be. Compatibility can be developed over time through communication, compromise, and effort. In marriage, love is the foundation, but sexual compatibility is one of the key pillars that sustain long-term happiness. It requires continuous learning, adaptation, and the willingness to understand each other's evolving needs. In the next chapter, we will explore the unspoken struggles many couples face when it comes to sexual intimacy and why these struggles persist even in long-term relationships. Chapter 2: The Unspoken Struggles in Marriage. How lack of communication about sex leads to dissatisfaction. When couples avoid talking about their sexual needs, frustrations build up over time. Misunderstandings and unmet expectations create emotional distance, leaving partners feeling disconnected. Lack of communication about sex often leads to decreased intimacy, as neither partner knows how to fulfill the other's needs. Common issues couples face but never talk about. Mismatched libidos and how to navigate them. Fear of expressing desires due to shame or embarrassment. Performance anxiety and insecurities. The impact of stress in daily life on sexual intimacy. How past experiences and traumas influence sexual connection. The link between sexual dissatisfaction and infidelity. When sexual needs remain unmet, some individuals seek fulfillment outside the marriage. While infidelity is never justified, Many affairs stem from a lack of emotional and physical intimacy. Addressing these struggles early on can help couples maintain a fulfilling and faithful relationship. In the next chapter, we will explore why people avoid talking about sex and how societal, cultural, and personal factors contribute to this silence. Chapter 3: Why people avoid talking about sex. Cultural and religious influences. Many cultures and religious traditions view discussions about sex as taboo, particularly before marriage. This creates a stigma around open conversations about intimacy, leading to unrealistic expectations and potential struggles later in marriage. Fear of judgment or rejection. People often hesitate to discuss their sexual desires due to fear of being judged by their partner. They may worry that their preferences will not be accepted or that they will be perceived negatively for expressing their needs. Lack of sexual education and awareness. A lack of proper sexual education contributes to discomfort around the topic. Many individuals enter marriage with limited knowledge about their own bodies, desires, and the importance of mutual sexual satisfaction. This lack of awareness prevents open discussions and leads to misunderstandings. In the next chapter, we will explore the importance of open communication about sex and how couples can start having these critical conversations. Chapter 4: The importance of open communication. How to start the conversation before marriage. Bringing up the topic of sex before marriage can feel daunting, but it is a crucial step in ensuring a healthy, fulfilling relationship. Couples should approach the conversation with honesty, openness, and respect. Rather than assuming that everything will naturally fall into place, partners should discuss expectations, boundaries, and any concerns they may have about intimacy. Key questions to ask your partner. What are your views on intimacy in marriage? How do you define sexual satisfaction? Are there any boundaries or preferences you feel strongly about? What are your thoughts on frequency and spontaneity in a sexual relationship? How do you feel about discussing intimacy openly throughout our marriage? Do you have any past experiences or concerns that could affect our intimate life? Creating a safe space for discussing desires and boundaries. To maintain a healthy, open dialogue about sex, couples must create a judgment-free environment where both partners feel safe expressing their desires and concerns. Here are some ways to foster this space. Use open and non-judgmental language, avoid criticism or blame and focus on understanding each other. Choose the right time and setting, have these discussions in a relaxed environment where both partners feel comfortable. Practice active listening, acknowledge and validate your partner's feelings without rushing to dismiss or correct them. Be patient and respectful, understand that discussing intimacy can be sensitive, and both partners may need time to fully open up. In the next chapter, we will explore how couples can learn each other's sexual language to enhance their connection and strengthen their intimacy over time. Chapter 5: Learning each other's sexual language. Understanding different sexual needs and preferences. Every individual has unique sexual needs and preferences, shaped by experiences, emotions, and personal desires. Understanding what excites, fulfills, and satisfies both partners is crucial to a healthy and fulfilling sexual relationship. Learning about each other's sexual preferences allows couples to create a more intimate and enjoyable connection. How men and women view intimacy differently. Men and women often have different approaches to intimacy. While men may view sex as a primary expression of love and connection, women may place greater emphasis on emotional closeness as a precursor to physical intimacy. Recognizing these differences can help couples navigate their desires and find common ground in their intimate life. Ways to discover and express your desires together. Open communication, talk about your desires, fantasies, and boundaries without fear of judgment. Experimentation and exploration, discovering new ways to connect physically can strengthen intimacy. Active listening and feedback, paying attention to each other's needs and responses fosters mutual satisfaction. Prioritizing emotional connection, strengthening emotional intimacy can enhance physical intimacy. Creating a safe space, encouraging openness and vulnerability without shame or embarrassment builds trust and understanding. In the next chapter, we will discuss how couples can reignite passion in their marriage and maintain a satisfying intimate life over time. Chapter 6: Reigniting Passion in Marriage. Practical steps to improve intimacy. Prioritize quality time, set aside time for romance and connection without distractions. Try new experiences together, experiment with new activities, both inside and outside the bedroom. Communicate openly about desires, Express what makes you feel desired and loved. Practice physical affection. Small gestures like holding hands and hugging help maintain closeness. How to overcome past sexual trauma or insecurity. Seek professional help. Therapy can be a safe space to work through past trauma. Build trust and patience. Healing takes time and requires understanding from both partners. Encourage open conversations. Allow your partner to express fears or concerns without judgment. The role of emotional connection in great sex. Strengthen emotional bonding. The deeper the emotional connection, the more fulfilling the intimacy. Show appreciation and affection. Express gratitude for your partner in daily life. Cultivate emotional safety. A trusting relationship enhances sexual intimacy. In the next chapter, we will discuss how couples can find a balance between expectations and reality in their intimate lives. Chapter 7: Finding a balance between expectations and reality. Managing differences in libido. Every couple faces differences in sexual desire at some point. Understanding and accepting these differences is essential for maintaining intimacy without creating frustration or resentment. Compromise versus sacrifice. Finding a middle ground. Healthy relationships involve compromise, not sacrifice. Couples should strive for solutions that honor both partners' needs without one feeling neglected or pressured. When to seek professional help. If ongoing sexual struggles create distance or emotional distress, seeking guidance from a therapist or counselor can provide valuable tools for overcoming obstacles and strengthening intimacy. In the next chapter, we will explore how faith, values, and intimacy intertwine in a marriage. Chapter 8: Faith, Values, and Intimacy. How religious and moral beliefs impact sexual compatibility. Religious and moral beliefs shape individual perspectives on sex and intimacy, influencing expectations and boundaries within a marriage. Understanding these influences helps couples find common ground while respecting each other's beliefs. Navigating faith-based limitations while maintaining intimacy. Many couples face faith-based guidelines that impact their intimate lives. Learning how to honor these beliefs while fostering closeness is key to a healthy sexual relationship. Healthy perspectives on sex in marriage. Embracing a positive view of intimacy as a sacred and fulfilling aspect of marriage allows couples to strengthen their bond and enjoy a satisfying relationship while maintaining their values. In the next chapter, we will explore overcoming challenges and rekindling passion when sexual struggles arise. Chapter 9: Overcoming Challenges and Rekindling the Flame. How to address long-term dissatisfaction. Sexual dissatisfaction over time can strain even the strongest marriages. Couples should acknowledge the issue openly, identify the underlying causes, and take proactive steps toward improvement. Addressing emotional disconnect, unresolved conflicts, and changes in desire is essential for rekindling intimacy. The role of therapy, books, and workshops. Seeking external resources such as therapy, relationship books, and workshops can help couples navigate challenges effectively. Professional guidance can provide new perspectives and tools for improving intimacy and communication in marriage. Making intimacy a priority despite busy schedules. Modern life often leaves couples overwhelmed with responsibilities, making it difficult to prioritize intimacy. Scheduling regular date nights, setting aside time for physical connection, and maintaining emotional closeness can help couples maintain a passionate and fulfilling intimate life. In the next chapter, we will discuss practical solutions and key takeaways to help couples strengthen their sexual compatibility and build a lasting, fulfilling relationship. Chapter 10: Practical Solutions and Takeaways. Exercises and activities to strengthen sexual intimacy. Engaging in activities that foster closeness and connection can help improve intimacy. Some practical exercises include: Sensate focus exercises, gradually increasing physical touch without pressure for immediate intimacy. Daily affection rituals, small gestures such as kissing, hugging, and verbal affirmations to maintain emotional closeness. Couples massage, a relaxing and intimate way to build physical connection. Date nights focused on intimacy, planning time together that prioritizes bonding and romantic connection. Tips for newlyweds and long-term couples. For newlyweds: openly discuss expectations, start your marriage with honest conversations about intimacy. Explore and learn together, be open to discovering each other's preferences. Set healthy boundaries, respect each other's comfort levels and desires. For long-term couples: prioritize regular connection, Life gets busy, but intimacy should remain a priority. Keep the spark alive, surprise each other with thoughtful gestures and new experiences. Continue to communicate. Long-term satisfaction requires ongoing dialogue about needs and desires. Final words of encouragement. A fulfilling sexual relationship is an evolving journey that requires patience, effort, and commitment from both partners. By embracing open communication, mutual understanding, and a willingness to explore and grow together, couples can build an intimate and emotionally rich marriage. Remember, intimacy is not just about physical connection, it is about trust, emotional closeness, and a shared commitment to each other's happiness. Whether you are newly married or have been together for decades, making intimacy a priority will help sustain a loving, passionate, and fulfilling marriage for years to come.